Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Frederica. So, I wanted to actually share a little bit of words of wisdom. This is not a prophetic word. As I'm, getting older, I just turned 44. And this is just a bit of wisdom for those of us that are getting older. We're still young in the Lord, is how does one manage and give attention to the areas in your life where you need to give attention and focus. A lot of us, especially in our 20s, we focus very much on one area of your life. So, say, for example, you've now enrolled at the university to study accounting. You can focus very much on your studies. You find a lot of people like this, they get focused and zoomed in on one area of your life. That's why I'm always encouraged when I read Ecclesiastes 12. Ecclesiastes 12 is one of my favorite scriptures that my Bible opens to often. When you look at the heading of chapter 12, it says, "Seek the Lord early in life." The scripture is encouraging you to seek God early in your life. So when you say to young people, people in their teen years, their 20s, when they give their lives to and come to Christ, focus on building up your relationship with the Lord. And growing in your faith and your walk with the Lord. Because there in the scripture it says, before the difficult days come, when you say, I have no pleasure in them, seek God early in life. Seek God early in your teen years. Seek God for wisdom. Seek God for direction. Give your life to Christ. Obviously, having an understanding of salvation and understanding what it means to be a believer, a Christian, a follower of Christ. The basic, foundational teachings of being a believer. Your 20s is really a time to build yourself up. So when you're saying to young people, you can't just focus on one area of your life. If I focus on one area of my life, all the other areas of my life get neglected. So for example, I'll give you an example. A lot of people are just focused on a career, focused on studies, but the other areas of your life get neglected. Your relationship with God as a believer is first. So when I wake up in the morning, I set my alarm 5 o'clock, and that's my time with the Lord, my time of prayer, my time of reading the word. I give God the first part of my day. God comes first in my life. He's first. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Then obviously, if you married, godly order, your spouse. So if you married, your relationship is priority. Your spouse is priority. If you neglect your relationship with your spouse, that's going to affect your covenant, which is your marriage, if you are married. Then if you have children, like myself, I have children. If I don't focus on parenting, what happens is if I just focus on my career, if I focus on my business, if I just focus on ministry, my children, my parenting will become neglected. My children will become neglected. And for a lot of us, you realize that the time is going. As your children are getting older, my children, you realize that your children are getting older. They're not going to stay small forever. Your relationships with your parents while they're still alive. Give priority and time to spending time with your parents. Now that my parents have passed on, when I say to people, spend time with your parents, pamper your parents, because one day they're not going to be there to pamper and love and spend time with. Give focus and attention also to your health. If I neglect my health, say for example, I don't stretch, I don't work out, I don't walk, none of that, say in my 20s and 30s, and I'm focused on my career, what's going to happen is that my body also, my health is going to be affected if I delay these things for later in my life. If I, as a woman, don't start taking care of my skin, getting into a proper skincare, wearing sunblock, sunscreen, if I'm just a sun worshiper, wrinkles, pigmentation, just forever in the sun, if I'm not taking care of my skin, I'm going to see the effects. Not having a proper skincare routine. If I'm not taking my supplements, if I'm not eating healthy, if I'm not making my health a priority, a lot of young people, when they start working, they'll spend money on a car, but they'll neglect their health, meaning they always say, oh, I don't have money for workout clothes or to buy a new pair of sneakers that I need to go walking or go and work out. Because you need balance. You'll make that car a priority. It's the same also if I don't maintain my home, it's going to become neglected. So what I'm trying to say, brothers and sisters, is that as we aging, as we getting older, we have to give time, focus, and priorities, and giving attention to all areas of your life, because life is really essentially maintenance. If I neglect my car and I don't take it for a service, my car is going to get neglected. It's not going to run the way it was running. I'll have more car problems. That's why a lot of these dealerships, they will phone you and remind you you're due for a service. If I don't maintain my hair, my everything, my body, everything gets neglected. I look good, I feel good. If I don't maintain my finances and keep a check on my finances will be neglected. So you can't just live your life in your 20s, your 30s, early 40s, and all you do, you focus on a career. That is why a lot of people, you'll meet them, they're successful in careers, meaning they're very much focused on studies. But when you go to their homes, for example, they don't know how to cook. They don't know basic cooking, basic organization in the home. You know what I'm saying? A person can have a great job, you can earn great money, but you don't know how to steward and manage money. You don't have a financial advisor. You haven't gone to see a person to help you with estate planning, getting your funeral cover, your life covers, that kind of things, all the policies that a person needs, because this also ties also into death. Like I said, my parents have passed on, and when a person passes on, death makes you to wake up and to realize that a lot of us don't have a lot of paperwork in order. Meaning, when we were running a business, we didn't give priority to financial planning, where you find a lot of people don't have a funeral cover, funeral policies, funeral covers. A lot of people don't have life cover. A lot of people don't want to think about death, which is inevitable for all of us. We don't do proper estate planning. It's one thing to earn money and to earn a great money, or your business, you get a great income from your business. Your business makes a certain amount a month or turnover per year. But all of that means nothing if you don't have wisdom to manage and to be a good steward of what God has given you. That's why if you remember, like in school when they used to draw like a pie chart, and you're looking at the pie chart and you're writing down all areas of your life, you have to give focus and attention. Why? Because also time waits for no man. While you're focusing on, you building a house, your relationships can also be neglected. You're not going to see your parents as often. You can neglect your relationship with your spouse. You can neglect your relationship with your children because you focused on building a house. You have to give a little bit of time to everything. Focus, give a little bit of time. Life is the maintenance and the management of responsibilities, of giving time to all these areas of your life. Don't just zoom in. It's like if you, when I had my first child, if I just focused on the baby, that's why a lot of times people say when the child is born, everybody's so focused on the child and no one's really focused on the mom. If I don't, focus also on looking good, feeling good, I will just be focused on my baby. And I remember one lady's advice as a mom, and she said, when you're buying clothes for your children, make sure you also buy clothes for you. She didn't obviously mean like immediately when I'm going to buy clothes for my children or ordering clothes online for my children, I also have to immediately buy clothes for me. She was just basically breaking it down to say, think also of you. You know what I'm saying? If I don't take care of me, who's coming to take care of me? Nobody. If I don't give attention to all these areas of my life and responsibilities, because being an adult is a lot of responsibility and the maintenance of all these areas of your life, relationships. That's why a lot of us, we don't invest in relationships. Take time. Friendships take time to build, that trust, that spending time, that getting to know that friend. Just like you're walking your relationship with the Lord, it takes time. Walking with the Lord. It's not this overnight. I've been saved since I was 23 and I'm 44 now. It's a journey. It's a walk. It's not an overnight. It's like deliverance. Not saying that the Lord can't instantly deliver you from an addiction or, you prayed a certain spirit you broke. Not saying that, but a lot of these deliverance, the journey, it takes time. So be mindful, brothers and sisters, as whatever season you are in your life, as we are aging, life doesn't stop for anybody. You have to make sure that when you are looking at your life and doing self-introspection, am I giving time to all these areas of my life, or am I just focused on one area? That's also why I believe a lot of people, when it comes to marriage, if you are married, a lot of people don't prepare for marriage. A lot of people don't prepare for parenting. They just get into parenting and think, oh, it's going to be easy. Get into marriage. Never prepare for marriage. Prepare to be a wife. Upskill themselves. For you, it's preparation. A lot of people are focused on a career. They're not buying books on parenting. They're not watching teachings on parenting. They're not asking, mature friends that have been a mom for a while, the right questions concerning parenting. Marriage is the same. Teachings on marriage. Investing in great books concerning marriage. Going for, what do you call it? Premarital counseling. But you also got to read the word. And read what is the word of God saying concerning marriage, concerning parenting. You've also got to be spending time in prayer, and asking God to help you to prepare for these, what you're praying for, whatever you're praying for and preparing for. A lot of us, we just zoom in on one area. It's like you'll find a person, it's like, have you ever gone to a person's house and like they don't know how to put the furniture and all the things and the colors and together? Yes, you can get an interior designer if you have the money, to help you to do that. But like you find like a lot of people just don't know how to do basics. Like basics like, choosing curtains, basics of color schemes and learning basic organizational skills, because we just focused on one area of our lives. You focused on the job. You focused on the career. You focused on the books. While you're focusing on the books and the career, if you're not focusing on your health suffers. You've got to focus on health now. You've got to get into fitness now. You've got to get into a great skincare now. You've got to start eating healthy now. You've got to spend time with your children now, because they're growing up so quickly. If you're married, you got to focus on your marriage, your covenant, your vow with your spouse, your vows that you made with your spouse. Putting time into your marriage, effort into your marriage, being consistent in these areas. It's consistency of maintenance. Life is maintenance. Like I always tell my teenage children, life is maintenance. It's a continuous, everyday maintenance. If I just let the dishes pile up, I have to give time to all areas of my life. Your career, your business, ministry, your children, your self-care, your health, your fitness, my finances. I'm actually thinking about a scripture now. I can't remember. I should have looked it up. Can't remember, but I think it's in Proverbs. It says, be careful to be attentive. I think it says to your own flocks. Not other people's flocks, your flocks. I always say I have my life to maintain. Our life is like a project. I've got my children, I've got my home, my body, my health, my vehicle. And I mean my vehicle, just basic maintenance. Going to the car wash, vacuuming my car gets very dirty, and I love everything clean. And balancing all that with ministry, balancing that with working, balancing that with raising children, business, all areas of your life. Not just zooming in and focused on one area. That's why I always encourage people, and I always tell this to my teenagers, your 20s is the time to really upskill and to learn cooking, cleaning, maintaining money, getting knowledge about money, finances, upskilling yourself, getting your driver's license. Don't just focus. You find a lot of people in the workplace, they're very much, they're only focused on a career. All other areas they're not interested in that I just mentioned that you have to give focus to. It's like earning money, doing a pie chart and seeing how much money I earn. How much is it for giving? Giving to the homeless, giving to the poor, giving to the people that you see that the Lord is going to lead you to, the homeless that you see every day at the corner. It's how much of it is going to expenses, retirement, my policies, your life covers, your retirement annuities, investing in gold, investing in crypto, that kind of investments, your expenses, your living expenses. You see what I'm saying? It's not just, it's one thing to earn money, it's another thing to manage money. You find a lot of people, they also don't do like the internal work of healing from pain, from trauma. You know what I'm saying? They don't, it's going to take time. They don't want to put in the time, the work, the effort of going to see a Christian counselor. There's great books out there. There's a great book I know, Nelson Schumann, Deliverance from Soul Wounds, and trauma. He speaks a lot about trauma and pain and getting delivered and healed from a lot of these pains and traumas and childhood pains and trauma and teenage pain and your pain in your 20s and just all of that a lot of people have dealt with and go through. Invest in those books. Invest in Bibles. Invest in good, Christian books on parenting, on marriage, on the same when I always encourage people on the videos and I say, pray and ask the Lord how to prepare for these end times. Ask the Lord, must you invest in gold coins or silver coins? Get going with your garden. Start learning things like, stock, watching prepper channels and on what to stock and what to prepare for long-term storage. Start getting fit. Start getting books on gardening and herbal medicines and boosting your immune system. Start getting books on gardening, on and buying actually, a lemon tree in your garden, herbs, all of that. You've got to give focus every day. Just like I'll give you an example of a house. You can't just focus on, I'm just going to clean the bathrooms. The kitchen gets neglected. What about the windows? They're dirty. Laundry. The floors. You can't just wake up in the morning, you're just saying, I'm just going to focus on the kitchen, the other areas of the bathroom. But if you do general maintenance every day or 3 times a week, depending on the size of your place, and say, I'm going to do the bathroom and maintain, little bit maintenance here, little bit here, little bit here, little bit here, little bit here. You can't just focus on one area of your life, because all the other areas of your life, they'll be neglected. Your relationships, you've got to also give. Great relationships, great marriages, friendships take time. It's an investment of time, energy, money. It takes time. It's not just overnight and you have a great strong marriage, overnight a great relationship, friendship, business relationships. It's time, it's effort, it's money, it's energy. Nothing's just overnight, brothers and sisters. Every area, I'm encouraging you today. Examine your life, your relationship with the Lord, your daily quiet time with the Lord, your prayer time, your reading the word, your worship, growth. It's not just going to come overnight, growing in your relationship with the Lord. So I just want to leave you with these encouraging wisdoms to focus on all areas and give attention, because time waits for no man. And if you lean more on one, I'm just focused on a career, or you can also be focused on your marriage, your career, your business gets neglected. If you just focused on being a mom, parenting, and your marriage can get neglected, your business can get neglected, your career, your studies. Give a bit of time, all areas of your life, parenting, marriage, studies, finances, fitness, skincare, maintaining your home, your car, all of everything that God gives you, everything you've prayed about, everything that God has given you in your hands to be a good steward. You need to learn time management and give focus and attention. Relationships with your parents, if they're still alive, your friendships. Because if you just lean, like I said, on one area, so that's why you see a lot of young people, they just very much focused on one area of their life. They're not giving attention to all these different aspects of life. You've got to, because one area gets neglected. And then everything crumbles. So think about that, brothers and sisters. I don't want to make this video too long. But yeah, stay blessed. Bye.